All right, so let's divide this using long division. Okay, so we have this third degree polynomial here as the dividend, right? X cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x plus 8, and we're going to divide that by x minus 2. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is take the first term in the dividend, which is x cubed, and take the first term in the divisor, which is x. And then we want to divide these together. Okay, so x cubed divided by x, right? So we're just taking the first term in the dividend, the first term in the divisor, dividing them together. You notice x cubed divided by x gives us x squared, right? So this x squared is going to be the first term that goes up here. Right? And you notice that once we multiply this, right, x squared times x gives us x cubed, which is sort of the goal here, right? That's sort of what we want, right? Don't forget, though, you have to multiply x squared times negative 2 as well. That gives us negative 2x squared. Okay, the next step is the key step here, right? Remember, we call this the division algorithm, right? The key is we have to subtract these together, but it's subtracting both terms, okay? So what that means is that, remember, the subtracting is, we don't see the minus sign here, right? But that's what the step calls for us to do, right? So basically, this positive x cubed has to become a negative, and this negative 2x squared should become a positive. They both have to change signs. So what happens once we actually go ahead and combine these, right? X cubed minus x cubed cancels out. And you notice that that should happen every time, right? Here we get 3x squared plus 2x squared, which is 5x squared. So now we can bring down the next term and just repeat this whole process. So we'll take the first term here, which is in the remaining term, right? 5x squared. Divide that by the first term in the divisor, which is x, and notice that we get 5x. Okay. So this should be the next term in our quotient, right? In our answer, plus 5x. And then we just repeat, right? 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times negative 2 is negative 10x. Right? But then the key step, right? What do? We have to subtract these. We have to subtract this term or this expression minus this expression. Okay, you can imagine, right? We don't have to rewrite it, but I'm just going to do it in this case. It's 5x squared minus 4x, right? Minus 5x squared minus 10x. So we could rewrite it like this, right? We don't have to, right? But essentially, what does that mean? Right? It means that this minus sign should distribute to both terms. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's make this positive 5x squared into a negative. And let's make this negative 10x into a positive. And once we combine these, what is the result? Right? 5x squared minus 5x squared cancels out. Negative 4x plus 10x gives us a positive 6x. And we'll bring down the 8 because that's still remaining. And then we should be able to do this one more time, right? So 6x divided by x gives us 6. And that'll be the last term here in our quotient. Okay, so then 6 times x is 6x. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Okay? But similarly, okay, what do we have to do once again? Right, this is the key step, right? We have to subtract these. So that means that this should become a negative. This should become a positive, right? 6x minus 6x cancels out as we expect it to, and then 8 plus 12 gives us 20. Notice there's no other terms to bring down. This doesn't have an x in it, so we know that we're done. Okay, now how should we write the final answer? Right, we should write it as the x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay. Right, this is called the quotient. But then we have to add the remainder divided by whatever we're dividing by, right? In this case, divided by the x minus 2. And this should be how we write our final answer.